voters who have reached this.
I mean, I'll give you a perfect example. This is hilarious. And I think you know me by now. I call balls and strikes, and I'm going to say what's on my mind regardless. So the Democrats are trying to court us to endorse Joe Biden in January, right? And Joe Biden's been a good president for us, Labor. Has he done everything we wanted? No, absolutely not. Again, you get into, we fixed your pension. Great, thank you. Your first order of business, you shut down oil drilling, you shut down pipelines. I got 7,000 members that lost their jobs immediately, Keystone, right? So, I started pointing out some of that stuff to them, which I was quiet about in the beginning. But, you're out there jockeying for our support. And they want us to endorse Biden in January. All of Labor did. And I'm like, no, we're not doing that. We've got to talk to our members. We're going to make sure where our members are at. So we go through this whole winter getting pressure from, people in the Democratic Party. And we stayed the course. Nope, we're not. We want to interview the candidates, which we've never done before. And we asked every single candidate in January or December to come in and meet with us. The first person to respond was Donald Trump. I'll be in there, definitely, without a doubt. And all these other candidates, RFK right away, Asa Hutchinson, Cornel West, all of them, they came right in. Same format, same questioning like we talked about earlier. And the struggle was getting Biden in here. He didn't like the fact that Trump committed early.
What's up, y'all? This your boy MAZ with the Do the Better You channel. Now, of course he didn't show up. Of course you had problems with him coming in there because, see, Joe Biden and the Democrats, they already thought they owned your vote. They already thought that they were already expecting that you were supposed to endorse them. The same way they thought that they owned black people, and they thought that us black people were just supposed to just bow down and vote for them and endorse them. No, we had to step up and show them our power, and we let them crash and burn.
Democrats didn't like that he committed early. So long story short, we go through this whole process, and we have Biden in there, and you could just clearly tell he was not the man he was. And it was kind of sad, because it's sad because you look at it and I think generally, a nice older man, nice older gentleman, right? And what they were doing to him, the Democratic Party, it would kind of look like elderly abuse to me.
Yes.
And, we knew we weren't going to go with him. And then after the first debate.
That's another thing, guys. The Democrats, I'm so happy that they lost, because the Democrats allowed Joe Biden to be in there when they knew he wasn't mentally capable. He was mentally incompetent. So pretty much it was somebody, it wasn't really even him pulling the strings. It was somebody else. You talking about the biggest scandal of all times, that will be it.
So in your meeting with him, it was obvious that he
it was. So we give 16 questions 2 weeks in advance, the same 16 questions to each candidate. So, RFK answered all 16 questions. Probably most of them didn't answer them how we would like them to answer them, but they answered them. Joe Biden came in and he answered 5 of them. Donald Trump answered all 16. And then when Biden drops out of the race, but prior to Biden dropping out of the race, he's in the race around June or May. One of my vice presidents, a woman named Joan Corey out of my local, she sits on our general executive board, was at an event with Vice President Harris. And, they're going through the line to get the picture, and Joan introduces herself to Vice President Harris, says, "I'm Joan Corey. I'm on the general executive board for the Teamsters." She goes, "Teamsters? You better get on board. You better get on board. Better get on board soon." Says it to my vice president.
To her face?
To her face. So she comes back. We have the meeting the next day.
Damn.
And she tells me this.
I thought I was arrogant. That's really arrogant.
So she tells me this. So I call up Marty Walsh. She wasn't.
Guys, that shit don't surprise me. All this old joy and love and all this old, we need to be inclusive and all this old nice, pleasant woman shit. I seen past that. I knew that was a big act. I knew that's I knew that's not who she really was. He's pretty much telling you who this woman is behind the scenes because he got to experience it. But you're going to hear more. Trust me. It gets worse.
The Secretary of Labor, but he was pushing hard for us to make the endorsement. I'm like, Let me ask you a question, Marty. Excuse my French. Who does this fucking lady think she is? Like, if I want to support from any organization, I am not going to point my finger in someone's face and say, you better get on board or else. But that's the attitude of this whole party. So fast forward, she finally agrees to come after we were putting pressure on her, you know, basically, because I was doing interviews all over the place saying, we haven't got invited to the DNC. You know, they haven't accepted our invitation for her to come to a roundtable. So she comes to the round.
Ain't that's kind of funny? The people who the DNC was fighting for their endorsement. They need their endorsement, but you giving them your ass to kiss? What kind of crazy ass shit is that? See, that goes to that old arrogance that the Democrats had. That they just felt like they had your endorsement. Like I said, the same way they did black people, and we had to let them crash and burn. We had to show them our power.
Roundtable, same format, same questions. Rank and file members are asking her questions just like they asked every other candidate, and they were trying to negotiate with us. She only wants to answer 3 questions. We're like, there's 16 questions here. So she answers 3 of them, and on the 4th question, one of her operatives or one of her staff slips a note in front of me, this will be the last question. And it was 20 minutes earlier than the time that it was going to end.
Come on.
See, guys, that's that same bullshit that she did with Fox News. They supposed to get an hour, but they only gave them 20 minutes. So now you want to dictate what they're going to ask you. That's not how it works. That's not how you do things when you want the endorsement from somebody. Seriously, guys, that's not how you do things when you want something from somebody. You see, and I used to be a Democrat. But you know, the Democrats today is not the Democrats of the old. I don't even recognize those people. I really don't. They are so vindictive. They are not willing to listen. The very moment you have a difference of opinion, they will oust you. They will shun you. Seriously. And the thing of it is, moving forward, if they're not even trying to change, they're actually doubling down on this stuff. And this is what's going to cause them future elections, because the country has spoken. Damn near the whole country was red. The swing states was damn near burgundy.
100%. And so, you know, you're there trying to get our support. And her declaration on the way out was, I'm going to win with you or without you.
She thought that or said it out?
Yeah, we saw how that shit happened. That shit, it was the total opposite. She got blew out. She got washed. And I'm so happy. And I hope she's somewhere crying. And guys, when she didn't do her speech for when she lost, pretty much what she did, she just went and had some kind of mental breakdown, because she probably was somewhere crying. That's why she didn't really give her a speech. She had to go and come back the next day, which is so disgraceful and embarrassing. I mean, seriously, this has never ever happened. Kamala Harris don't get me started, y'all. That's another video. She was a bad candidate.
Wow.
She said it out loud.
That's insane.
So
that's crazy behavior, actually, if you think about
arrogance.
It was insane behavior, which at that point in time, I knew she was going to lose. Me, that's just my unqualified opinion. I got a gut instinct, and I'm like,
well, you turned out to be right.
Someone this arrogant, forget anything else, but you put your finger in someone's face at an Emily's List event once you find out they're with the Teamsters, and you say, you better get on board or else. That's a problem. And then you come before us, you don't answer the question, you want to dictate what you're going to answer, and then you leave 20 minutes before it's over. And the one difference between all the candidates that came was that at the conclusion of all these roundtables, we had media set up. So after conclusion of meeting with Trump, I did a press conference down in the lobby of my building. Well, Donald Trump did a press conference down in the lobby of my building after he spoke. The same offer was extended to both President Biden and Vice President Harris, and they refused. So you're meeting with the biggest labor organization that you want, and you've got an opportunity for media to question you about how you felt the meeting went, and what you wanted.
That makes no sense to me. Seriously. How you gonna give the biggest union labor in America your ass to kiss, but at the same time you want them to support you? That makes no sense to me. And this is why her dumb ass lost. I mean, seriously. I mean, not only, I mean, is she a shitty vice president and she's just not that smart and she's bad at her job, but she makes poor decisions. I mean, this right here proves it.
To achieve, and you don't want to speak to the media, that's a problem. But Trump, to his credit, in our building, in our foyer, had a press conference.
So you're describing the way like a rich person would talk to the housekeeper, like, how dare you question me?
Right.
You
Yeah.
work for me.
Right. They don't realize that, and I've said this numerous times, when I'm talking to a member, whoever that member may be, regardless of race, religion, color, creed, I know that they give me the opportunity to represent them, and they employ me.
Yeah.
Right? And I've said this many times. The Democrats can understand who they work for.
The constituency.
They work for the constituency that they represent in their communities.
Exactly.
And that's where they've lost sight of who their employer is. They think that the constituency should serve them.
Exactly.
And it's disgraceful. And, you know, what we've been saying for a year, now everybody's embracing, saying, well, the Democratic Party needs a reset. Well, where were you 9 months ago? Where were you 2 years ago? If you were really, you know, passionate about putting up a candidate that could actually represent Democrats like they did, or represent the party, why weren't you developing a plan 2.5 years ago? Because you thought you just had in the bag, you thought people were going to do what you tell them to do. Well, clearly that didn't work. So what's the future? And they don't have an answer.
It may be that period of history is just over.
Yeah. Like he just said, they thought they had it in the bag. They thought, so you thought he was just going to toe the line and fall in line and give you his support. No, that ship has sailed. And not only that, the Democrats, that old messaging that they're doing, that shit doesn't work no more. You know, all this old race baiting and identity politics, that's not working no more. And they really don't. They don't want to let that go. The Democrat Party has become the party of emotions and just a bunch of social justice warriors. They pretty much ignored the working class people and gave them their ass to kiss. That's why they lost. And once again, they thought foundational Black Americans were just going to fall in line and just do as they're told and vote for them, Black men in particular. And they were sadly mistaken. We let their ass crash and burn, and I'm elated. I'm happy that Trump won, but I'm more elated that the Democrats lost. Y'all, what's happening, y'all? This your boy Mazzo Capone. Just to Do the Better You channel. Like and subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comments, man. And fair use YouTube. And shout out to Tucker Carlson, man. He got a good show over there. Fair use. Like I said, like and subscribe. I love y'all. Appreciate y'all. I'm out.